Hi, welcome to today's gentle flow. For today's practice, you don't need any props, just a little space to move. And we're gonna start on our back body. Soles of the feet can press into the mat. Hips, shoulder, head, all supported here. Give yourself a few rounds of breath to settle in. Adjust however you need to. And encourage your breath here to slow down. So lengthen those inhales and exhales. Reminding ourselves with these gentle flows, part of the challenge here is moving just a bit slower than you'll typically want to. So one way to help our nervous system slow down, lengthening those inhales and exhales. When you're ready to add in some gentle movement, start by dropping your knees one side and then the other. Some little windshield wipers here. You're going to be working with some hip stretches. This is a nice way to start that process. Feeling that low back roll across the mat. Give yourself a few rounds at the pace that feels good for you. Pausing next time your knees point up towards the sky. Then bring your right knee towards your chest, right ankle over that left knee, reclined figure 4. Goal here is pressing that right knee away from your body. So keep your left sole of the foot planted, might be a little different than normal, and gently press that right knee away from your body. You can use your hand here to help you, or just energetically. Slight flex in those right toes. Give yourself a moment. You can stay right here, or if you would like to, you can lift left foot off the mat. Hands come behind that left thigh, then extend left leg up towards the sky. Again, keeping that engagement, right knee is going to want to hug in towards the chest, pressing it away from you. Give yourself just a moment here. And then unwind, coming to both soles of the feet on the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Next breath, left knee hugs into the chest and then left ankle over right knee. Again, pressing that left knee away from your body. Activating that outer hip. Give yourself time here with this right sole of the foot pressing into the mat. And if this feels best for keeping that outer hip engagement, you can stay right here. Or bring that right foot off the mat. Extending right leg up towards the sky. Hands come behind that right thigh. Encouraging the left knee away from your body. Keeping that outer hip activation. Breathe here. When you're ready, release. Allowing yourself to unwind both feet back to the mat. Then hug your knees into your chest and make your way to a seated position. You can rock and roll or roll over to one side, whichever leg you prefer in front. On an inhale, bring your hands to heart center. We'll go through a few rounds of robin's breath. Inhale here. Exhale, palms press forward, tuck your chin towards your chest. Inhale, open your arms up wide. Exhale, palms press. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, palms press forward, tuck your chin. Inhale, open your arms, take up space. Exhale, palms press. Inhale, back to center. One more at your pace of breath. Really rounding the spine and then pulling the heart forward to warm up that spinal area. Meeting with hands at heart center when you're ready. Hands come to the mat in front of you. Then make your way to a tabletop position. Warming up the hips here first. You're going to start bringing your hips back towards your heels and then up towards the wrists. Almost like you're drawing a circle here with your tailbone. Working at a pace that feels good for you. Maybe slightly slower than you're used to. Switching directions next round. And we'll pause next time you come back to center. Walk your hands forward about a handprint. Tuck your toes and lift your hips for down dog. Give yourself a couple rounds of breath here, really pressing into both hands equally. Fingertips are open wide, so a nice big surface area. Hips reach towards the sky. Then taking little baby steps, right foot steps up just a bit. Left foot crosses in front of it, almost like you're walking on a tight line in the middle of your mat towards the top of your feet. Keep those crisscross steps happening till eventually you meet at a forward fold at the top of your mat. Soles of the feet next to each other. Inhale, half lift, squeeze your shoulder blades, hands press into your thighs. Next breath, fold forward, hang heavy. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up, find that full extension once more. Exhale, side stretch towards the right. Hips reach to the left, fingertips to the right. Now you might drop your right hand down your side body, opening up some space in that shoulder. You can stay right here or start to shift your weight to your left foot. Right foot. Left foot lifts off the mat, creating a diagonal here, a little balance challenge. Give yourself a moment. Come back to center. Other side, palms press first, find the side stretch, keeping that chest open. Then left hand falls down the side, hips continue to press. You can stay here, weight is equal in both your feet, or weight shifts to your left foot. Right foot lifts off the mat, bit of a balance challenge here. Long line of energy from fingertips to toes. Next breath, come back to center. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank position. Inhale and plank. Exhale, hips up and back, down dog. Now take your feet in each about a step. And then take your feet a little wider here. So heels will be reaching closer towards the mat. And then figure 4 downward facing dog. Right foot lifts off the mat. Right ankle rests above left knee. Encouraging that right knee away from you. Here for just a moment. Right foot steps between your hands. And then lift for crescent. Back heel presses away from you. Really exaggerating that back heel pressing away to open up the front of that left quad. Hands come to heart center. Shifting forward for tree. Weight pours into your right foot. Left foot can come to the calf or all the way up towards your thigh area. Whatever works for you. Goal here is opening that hip. Breathe here for a moment. Left knee presses back as much as is available. On your next round of breath, extend left leg long behind you. Return to crescent. Hands to the mat. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Taking that little shorter, wider stance for down dog. Left foot lifts off the mat, finding figure 4 down dog for a moment. Left knee presses away from you. Heel pressing towards the floor on that standing leg. Then left foot steps between the hands for crescent. Inhale, arms lift. Back heel presses away from you. Trying to see if you can find a little extra stretch in the front of that right quad, even up towards the hip flexor area. Hands come to your heart center. Shift forward for your version of tree. Allowing yourself the wobbles and wiggles you need to get there. Goal here is not how high up we can crank that foot, but keeping that hip open. So maybe taking a slightly lower version, if that makes sense. So if typically your foot comes to your thigh, maybe bring it to your calf. If typically your calf, maybe you rest your toes on the mat. Wherever you are, encouraging that right knee to press behind you. Opening the hips. Next breath, extend right leg long behind you. Return to crescent. Hands to the mat. Downward facing dog. Taking the feet wider here and shortening that stance. Right hand reaches for left ankle. 2 full rounds of breath here. Down dog with a twist. Next breath, back to center. Left hand reaches outside of right ankle. 2 breaths here. Down dog with that twist, maybe feeling some space behind the left shoulder blade. Next breath, back to center. Begin to walk your feet back towards the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hips down and back for chair. Feet can be at hip distance or toes to touch, wherever you prefer for chair. Then draw your hands to heart center. Right foot becomes light. Right ankle over left knee. Encouraging your right knee towards the mat here. Even gonna have you take your right hand under the knee. Left hand can rest at your heart. And press your knee into that hand so you can feel that little tension here. That helps you to activate your outer hip. You can stay here or both hands at heart center. Whatever works best for you. Heart stays lifted. Toes are flexed in that right foot. Next breath, right foot comes to the mat. Stay in chair, hips nice and low. Shift your weight to right foot. Left foot becomes light. Figure 4 chair on this side. Again, flexing your toes here first. Hips stay low. Left hand can come outside of that knee. Adding to that tension, hand resists knee, knee presses into the hand. Or you can keep your hands at heart center. Notice here my right hip wants to splay off towards this side, hugging it back under your body. Give yourself a moment here, hips stay nice and low. Next breath, left foot comes to the mat chair. Inhale, root into your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Opposite hand to opposite elbow. Allow yourself to hang heavy here, maybe swaying side to side. Next breath, release that grip. Plant your hands and step back to a down dog. Hips stay lifted. Inhale, sweep right leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between, or I should say, bring your right knee towards your wrist. Then that shin lays down on the mat for pigeon. Back toes untuck. You can stay here lifted. This can be nice for your hips. Or if you feel like you want to fold into it, sleeping pigeon, forearms, or even your forehead can come to the mat. Breathe here. Some bodies can walk that front heel closer towards the wrists, opening the hips a bit more. If it feels a little too intense, pull your heel a little closer to your body, finding the shape that works for you. 2 more rounds of breath here. Next breath, press into your hands, lift your upper body out of the shape. Tuck your back toes, lift the back knee off the mat first, then step back to down dog. Other side, inhale, sweep left leg to the sky. Exhale, left knee towards left wrist, then lay that shin on the mat. Untuck your toes, pausing here for pigeon, or begin to lower down for sleeping pigeon. Again, you might pull that left ankle closer to your wrist, opening the hips a bit more, or your heel might slide in real close to your body. Find the version that feels best for you, not causing any zinging, pinching, or pain. Breathe here. Next breath, press your upper body out of the shape first, pressing into both hands, fingers are open wide. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step back to down dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, lower all the way to the mat. Untuck your toes, take your feet wide, then lift your heart for Sphinx. Elbows press into the mat, squeezing your shoulder blades together just a bit as shoulders pull away from the ears, long neck, eyes soften or close. Breathe here. One more full breath. Then lower forehead back to the mat. Hands can come under your shoulders. Bring your feet to touch behind you or as close as feels good. Then press your hips back. Narrow child's pose for just a moment. Hips reaching towards the heels as far as works for you. We did a lot of hip open shapes today, so allowing the knees to point towards the top of the mat. Then walk your hands in, sliding your heels out from under your seat. Legs extend long in front of you. Inhale here. Exhale, fold forward. Now you can keep your legs extended just as they are, or walk your heels in just a bit, creating a little pillow, or I should say, a little opening under your knees. Then allowing your upper body to hang heavy here is forearms under the knees. Use that weight to pull you a bit more into the shape. Of course, if this doesn't feel good, arms come out. Allow yourself to find the shape that works for you. Give yourself about 3 rounds of breath wherever you are. Next, inhale, press your upper body out of this shape. Then finding an easy seat, whichever leg you prefer in front. This is where we'll close out our practice. You're welcome to stay here in stillness as long as feels good for you. If you're ready to close, eyes soften or close here. Give yourself a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. Thank you for being part of this rad community. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.